how this is gonna look because I'm not sure if the PDF will show the animations, but you guys are a nice supportive crowd, so we'll just forget about that if it doesn't work out. See, there we go. Lung cancer, lung disease, and heart disease are the 3 leading causes of premature death globally, but of course we can do something about that. So my name is Julie Sufana. I'm Chief Marketing Officer at Contextflow, and we are a spin-off of the Medical University of Vienna, founded in 2016. And we develop AI-based medical device software for radiologists in order to save them time and improve their reporting quality and consistency. And specifically, we do that for chest CT. So we're detecting, analyzing lung cancer, lung disease, COPD, etc. I would love to talk about the product. You're welcome to ask me about it. But since we were asked to talk about strategy and innovation, I thought that would lead me to talk about some global challenges facing radiology AI and why we don't see it being mass adopted just yet. Okay, so it skipped a slide, so we're just gonna speak it out loud. So first things first, about 5 years ago, radiology AI started to be commercialized. And, you know, radiologists, rightly so, were like, you got some evidence for that? Like, how can we trust you? So we had to spend a lot of time developing clinical evidence, doing studies, and on average, a study could take you at least between 2 and 5 years, let's say, right? So that's a long time. I think I see some heads nodding, so maybe some people have worked in healthcare before. So thankfully, because we're a spin-off, we have access to really good medical institutions with lots of data that we're allowed to commercialize on. So we have some studies showing, yes, time savings, awesome. While that's going on, we also have to integrate our AI into a lot of systems. So have you ever been to your doctor and you see they're typing into a workstation? Yeah? That system is called a PACS. It stands for Picture Archiving Communication System. And that is what houses and sends and analyzes medical images and your reports. So every AI vendor has to integrate with every PACS system if you really want mass adoption or at least the ability to sell on the market. You can probably see where I'm going with this. This is a lot of development and deployment work. Everyone has to do it, and no, they're not standardized. They're very custom in a lot of instances. There's some image standards, yes, but it's like they do the bare minimum, and then companies customize on top of that. And then the third challenge is, okay, great. So you have some evidence, you are integrated. So technically I could use your product, but the first thing we learned was, well, no one has budget. So it's a really sad reality, especially as a patient, to learn that the healthcare system could not care less about quality. You really have to save them time or money. And so, like, after a couple of years of trying, we said, okay, we have to do something to develop a health economics model. So that leads me to this wonderful feature here. I'm just gonna very briefly discuss what it is. So a lung nodule is an indicator for lung cancer, okay? And 1/3 of all chest CTs have nodules. So from this side of the room on, everyone's got nodules, everyone else is fine. Thankfully, most of them are actually benign, but it still creates a lot of work for radiologists to evaluate all of those. So this is called a malignancy score. Very briefly, what it does is it tells the radiologist the likelihood whether a specific nodule is malignant or benign. Now, that's nice because if we know that it's malignant, let's get that person into treatment right away. Let's catch that cancer when it's stage 1 or 2 instead of stage 3 or 4. But often what happens right now is a radiologist detects a nodule and then they tell you, oh, come back in 6 months. They don't know if you have cancer or not. I find that a really shitty user experience, you guys. Okay, I wanna know, because then we know we have single-digit follow-up rates. So people don't want to get bad news. They're not coming for their follow-up. Maybe the healthcare system is overloaded. So we need to capture as much information at that first scan as possible. And what's interesting is, what happens if there's a low score? That actually means that it's a benign nodule, and that is very interesting to insurance companies because insurance companies are in the business of saving money. So they're like, you could save us a follow-up. you could save an invasive, expensive biopsy. And so this is the health economics model that we've developed, that we were accepted into something called the Healthy Hub, which is a group of public insurance companies in Germany. And fingers crossed, we should be the first radiology AI company in Europe to actually receive a reimbursement code anywhere. So that'd be really cool for us. So some lessons learned. If I were to tell an early stage startup in healthcare what to do, I would say, please start with a health economics model first and see who's actually going to pay for your system, right? Because everyone thinks, build image recognition, that's like ground zero for AI, and yet no one wants to pay for it, right? So you have to consider those things. Number two, I would consider integrating third-party tools for faster go-to-market. So this malignancy score actually comes from a US partner. However, no one will use it if it's not integrated into a software that's already integrated into a PACS. And it doesn't make sense to have a random score and no other contextual information like what our system provides. So we need actually each other in order to speed up adoption. And number three, behavior change takes time. I think everyone in this room knows that. So again, we have to really pay attention to our runway. We have to really over-educate radiologists on how to use our system and really set expectations with investors. So that's it. Thank you so much, and yeah, very happy